3GPP has 3 weeks left to decide if 6G will ever talk to your 5G phone. That's not an exaggeration, it's an actual vote schedule for September, and one major operator has already warned 3GPP it can't wait any longer. Last week I covered TR22.870, the 161 use cases 6G is supposed to deliver. TR38.914 is the RAN study 3GPP just approved to define what the radio itself needs to do. But buried inside it is a fight that isn't settled yet. 3GPP's RAN group approved this study in June 2026. It maps out what 6G needs to accomplish. What it doesn't settle is the single biggest architecture question. Should 6G break cleanly from 5G or stay backward compatible with it? Here's why it matters. 5G launched with multiple architecture options, and operators are still untangling that mess years later. For 6G, 3GPP is trying to avoid a repeat, but as of this study's approval, the group's own chair said a decision wasn't possible yet. What is settled? 14 deployment scenarios this radio has to handle, dense city streets, rural coverage, high-speed rail, even aircraft moving at up to 1,200 km per hour. Spectrum-wise, 6G pushes up to 52.6 GHz, but the real story is a brand new band, FR3, 7 to 24 GHz, a new middle lane, more capacity than today's low bands, better range than millimeter wave. Some working group proposals describe base stations carrying well over 2,000 antenna elements to make that spectrum usable, up from roughly 64 in today's 5G Massive MIMO arrays. That's proposed, not finalized. 6G's core is also being designed to natively support sensing and AI, built-in network functions from day one, not bolted-on features. Which brings us back to that unresolved fight. One major operator has formally told 3GPP that hardware decisions need to happen now, not later, because the outcome determines whether your current 5G device works on day one of 6G or needs replacing. I'll show you exactly what's on the table when 3GPP votes in September. Two migration paths are actively being debated. One leans on something called multi-RAT spectrum sharing, 5G and 6G sharing the same spectrum simultaneously during a transition window. Others favor dual connectivity or dual stack approaches, which shift more of the transition burden onto network infrastructure instead of the radio itself. This is why when does 6G arrive is the wrong question right now. The real question is which path 3GPP picks in Madrid this September, because that choice, not a calendar date, determines your actual timeline. None of this happens without hard performance targets. The study sets KPI benchmarks for reliability, latency, and device density that 6G radios have to hit before any of TR22.870's use cases become real deployable features. This study now feeds into 3GPP's Release 21 work item phase. But the architecture vote in September is the gate everything else has to pass through first. My honest take, the most consequential thing about this study isn't a decision 3GPP made, it's the decision they still haven't made. Vodafone is publicly pushing for urgency. Whether the rest of the industry agrees gets settled in about 3 weeks. TR38.914 and TR22.870 are both close studies. Now feeding Release 21. The use cases tell you what 6G is supposed to do. This study tells you what the radio needs to become, and the biggest piece of that puzzle is still being argued over. I'll cover RAN 113's outcome the moment it's public. Deeper numbers on both migration paths are on the Substack link in description and on the screen. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens in September.